everyone, this is ASDFcore, otherwise known as Ryan, coming at you today with a new idea that some friends and I had. We're going to be starting a podcast. This will be episode 1, kind of serve as episode 1. It's just kind of a shot in the dark to see if anyone likes what we have to say about random nerd oddities. And today I have my friends Eric and Melvin with me. Say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
How you doing, everybody? This is Melvin.
And this is Eric.
All right, so today we're going to be kind of diving into a little experiment, if you will. We had an idea based off of a photo, actually, well, a picture, some fan art of some sort, where I don't know where I found it, but...
Yeah, but you found it.
I did find it.
And it started all this.
Yes, so the rambling began.
I sent it to Eric, I believe, first. And it's just a picture of John Wick and Lupin the Third.
And it's a pretty powerful picture.
It is. They're hanging around a corner waiting for Spike Spiegel to come up. And they all have...
Weapons drawn.
They do. And, yeah, if you guys kind of want to explain what we'll be doing based off this photo here.
When Eric was sent this picture, obviously he sent it to me, and we began a ridiculous discussion of, okay, well, obviously, between these three, who would win? And that kind of splintered off into, well, video games, anime, comics, everything. Humans, specifically. Humans who might come up on top. And when we say humans, we mean non-enhanced, your regular... Just people, just regular human people. No technology enhancing them. No alien DNA. No weird
magical stones.
Yeah, nothing of that.
No
effect,
spells. No ooze.
Yeah,
Juices.
just you've pushed your body and your skill to the absolute limit within all these entertainment things, and just seeing who we think would come out on top.
So you're saying no Kamehamehas, no Final Flashes?
No,
Right. None of that stuff.
nothing of
okay.
that effect. No superhuman abilities, even if they are fully human.
Okay.
Just straight up training, sword play, gun play, hours and hours and hours of training, to hone in said skill. And of course we all kind of know these characters and what they bring to the table, and so we've kind of done the liberty of compiling our own list to spare you guys from possibly like 47 episodes of going through characters who we all kind of feel like we're all comfortable with. I think it'll be fun here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we whenever we get together, any combination of us and our other friends as well.
Yes.
Conversation always ends up like, oh, okay, well, what if Vegeta was actually not a Saiyan, but he was a human? Would he be just as powerful, or just different theoretical things from nerddom? And it quickly devolves to something insane.
Yes.
So this is just a little thought experiment that we have going on. This, keep in mind, it's not really in any sort of order. We don't have any end-all, be-all, this isn't a battle royale kind of deal that we really know of. It might go into that once we start discussing. But we also probably don't have everyone on this list. Maybe you have someone that you thought of that we were dumb enough to miss.
Yes.
So please
Let us know.
let us know. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this is
again,
not.
with this episode being like the pilot kind of just thing, we're trying to keep it like as organic as what we normally do. If hey, you guys are just coming over and we sat down and grabbed something to drink, and next thing you know, we're explaining why Star Wars is the way and why this character should be able to do this and all this stuff. Just again exploring that from our knowledge versus just going directly to Google or whatnot, where you'll hear our different strengths and weaknesses and just maybe complete ignorance and even in some of the characters, in this list, again, that we put together versus just going to the internet being like strongest humans, non-powered up, without, whatever.
Yeah, this is just based off of our own knowledge of nerddom. So, we're not trying to be a scientific specifically, well, clearly this person can lift this many pounds, so they win. I'm not trying to do that kind of deep dive.
Exactly.
Maybe not yet.
Not for this episode.
Yeah, that'll come later, right. So, we all have kind of our favorites that we've put into here, each of us, and we have filtered through probably, 50 50 people.
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
Brought it down
Somewhere around
to
there.
like a decent list.
Men and women.
Yes, exactly. And they're from everything, from movies, TV shows, anime, video games, comic books, you name it. We have, I think, decent representation from every media. Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll go down the list here. Starting off, we got Batman. We go to Batman, Bruce Wayne himself. Spike Spiegel, John Wick.
Trevor Belmont, Frank Castle, Guts, Big Boss, Aragorn, Doom Guy, Boba Fett.
We got good old Samurai Jack. And we also have Nathan Drake. We have Rambo. And also Sarah Connor, Laura Croft. And we got some more here. Who else do we have?
Don't forget Michonne. Is that Misaka from Attack on Titan? Mr. Satan himself. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
And just to round out the list, again, everybody, like we said at the beginning, we did go through all the different characters. And this guy gets an honorable mention because we all know, just with one punch, right? I think I'm saying that right.
Yes.
He wins. So,
Of course, we have to at least mention Saitama. He is fully human, but
Yep, that's Saitama.
I mean, clearly he is the winner. But we're gonna have to omit him for very obvious reasons.
Okay, yeah, he's human. He doesn't have any special powers. What's his workout? What does he do a day?
Let's see, it's a
100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 10 kilometers. I think I'm missing something. 10 kilometers? Anyway,
I don't know. It's like a long run, and
Yeah.
then the push-ups and the sit-ups. That's all he does.
a day.
That's all he does every day. So he's not anything special beyond that.
Which in itself is ridiculous. I don't know if anyone else has tried it.
That's a lot.
That is, yeah. I got to like 60 a day. And I was like, I don't
Nope.
feel like doing this much longer.
I don't even want to try it.
nah,
So
I'm good.
I think I could do 50 sit-ups when I was a kid, and probably not since then. So yeah, Saitama's unfortunately out. Let's see. I'm gonna go through what were some of the others that we were omitting. Let me pull that up here. A big one that we're leaving off, and a lot of you will be surprised because you know how much of a fan I am, is Link. And
Yes.
we couldn't really decide, first of all, which Link would be representative in this contest, if you will. And it's hard for me to say if certain Links do have magical capabilities or gifts from the goddesses or whatever. So just to be on the safe side, we left him out. One of the other ones that we left out, and it was purely because we wanted to narrow down the list. Think, for instance, we put in Doom Guy, right? So someone very, very similar and also does not have any special powers would be Duke Nukem. So Duke Nukem, unfortunately, is out because I think if you put Duke Nukem up against the Doom Guy, I mean, he's gonna die. It's unfortunate, but he's gonna die.
They're almost the same guy, but
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, maybe not clearly, but the argument can be made between the three of us at the very least that the Doom Guy is gonna overtake Duke Nukem, and they're just so similar. We don't see the need to have almost the same kind of guy, different personality. It's
Exactly.
really the only difference.
Was it some of the other characters we had? We had the mountain up,
Oh yeah.
up
Right,
there.
right.
One of the newer characters, Spear from Primal,
Mm.
the caveman there. He's pretty much killed like everything with a spear and or a rock or his hand.
Yes, he has.
Axe Cop, just because of the ridiculousness that he is,
Of course.
but I think that's why we kind of put him to the side.
Yep.
To try and put some other women on the list, we went into G Gundam, the pilot known as Allenby Beardsley, because of her martial arts, combat, and all that stuff. But we thought she would be a good representative, but we dropped her out because we're like, dude, she's not in her suit, or the mobile suit. Sorry, we don't know how much of a factor that would be. But considering some of the other skill and weapon that everyone else would have in this contest, yeah, we took that in mind.
Yep. Absolutely.
Just running around with a giant mobile suit, that's not fair.
No, that's not at all.
That goes against the entire conversation.
One of my other favorites we had was, again, going into some other anime stuff, was San from Princess Mononoke.
Mm-hmm.
She's being raised by those wolves, has the crystal dagger, stab you a billion times.
Very fast and skilled, but
Yes.
just outmatched by some of the other people on this list.
Yep, definitely. One last one that I'll kind of mention that we did omit, and it's a relatively newer one. I don't know if we want to look at it here, but we had the Mandalorian, our signature guy from the show, Mando, and Boba Fett. We put them kind of in the same category. Of course, they're both Mandalorians. We ended up choosing Boba Fett, but things have to happen. There are going to be casualties on this list. Not necessarily that Mando isn't awesome because he is, but had to trim that list down.
Oh, just one more before we go. As the father of 3 crazy little girls, I don't think she made the final run-ins, but to those who haven't watched the Tangled, that version of Rapunzel, she is pound for pound the scariest Disney princess of all time, with her ability to just dance around and pull herself up with her hair and do whatever and beat the crap out of anybody with a frying pan.
I have no desire to go up against that frying pan.
Yeah, she would just ruin a lot of these people on accident and just laugh.
All right, so we kind of just to reiterate after that, talking about who we did omit, the ones that we are keeping in this sort of contest, if you will, real quick. We got Batman, Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop, John Wick, of course. We're going to go with Trevor Belmont from Castlevania. We're going to go with Frank Castle, the Punisher. Guts from Berserk. Big Boss from Metal Gear. Snake! We got Aragorn, obviously from Lord of the Rings. We have the Doom guy from Doom. Boba Fett from Star Trek. No, sorry, Star Wars.
You take like 100 laps now.
I did it on purpose. Okay. Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series. Rambo. Sarah Connor from Terminator. Laura Croft from Tomb Raider. Michonne from The Walking Dead. Black Widow from The Avengers. Mikasa from Attack on Titan. And Mr. Satan.
Oh, yeah!
From Dragon Ball. So, does anyone have a standout character that you really like to kind of take it all and be the strongest, if you will?
Go ahead, Melvin.
I gotta say, I gotta put Guts from Berserk up there at least. I mean, I don't know how you're gonna beat this man. He's quite literally flinging around a giant piece of iron twice the size of you, as if it was a normal sword. And just the amount of willpower that this man has, he literally kills demons.
That theme is playing in my head right now. I'm getting really sad.
Wait, by what you're saying, we might have to omit him from the list if he's just killing freaking demons. No, I'm just kidding.
See, and this was kind of the trouble that we had, because he doesn't have powers, but he is doing some crazy things. None of which I don't really would put on the level of like, okay, yeah, he's not Saitama. He's not exploding your whole being in a single punch. So, yeah, it's tough. But Melvin's gonna take Guts here to end it all. Is there someone on this list that would take out Guts? I mean, that's a tough one.
Yeah, man. You started out pretty strong like that.
You did.
Yeah, I mean, just the willpower alone, you really gotta. That alone is a big up that he's gonna have versus a lot of these guys.
Yeah, but how good
and
is
women.
Willpower against a skilled individual with a gun? Because we got a few of those on this list.
That's very
true.
true.
They could reach out and touch you
Mm-hmm.
without touching you with a blade.
So who are you gonna say with that? A firearm user, huh?
Yeah, I mean, John Wick and Spike Spiegel there.
Yeah.
John Wick is just such a kill machine. He sees something move.
It is quite literally his job.
Yeah, yes, literally being the best at what he does. He puts those sights on you, and that's it.
All right. That's a fair point.
Yeah, it is hard to. Again, we're not death battle here, so
no.
We're not gonna put these like head-to-head fighting. Of course, a gun is gonna take out somebody with a 12-foot sword. There's not really a question there, but this is kind of more than that. So we just leave this an open discussion. But it's also why it's so difficult, right? You also have someone like Rambo, who is literally insane, and that man will live in the jungle for weeks just to hunt Guts down and either assassinate him with his bow,
yeah,
or just pull out like an M14 and mow him down as well. I don't know how this could go.
Yeah, because he'd get up nice and close and personal too, and
would
shank you with something.
If we're gonna start talking about survival skills and stuff of that nature and hunting people down, then I gotta bring up Lara Croft. I mean, in this last trilogy, in terms of survival skills and stealth and all that sort of thing, I mean, she could easily stand toe to toe with Rambo, if not come up above him. Just come up behind him with a freaking ice pick and hit him right in the head, easily.
Well, speaking of coming up behind people, and like we're discussing here again, getting into just the swing of stuff, survival skills and all the stuff. Lara Croft is great and all, but then you have Big Boss.
Yeah.
He's like the ultimate when it comes to this sort of stuff.
You have a point.
And that's why, again, guys, to reiterate, we went around different versions of certain characters. We went with Big Boss because he's the original before any sort of genetic, altering.
Yeah, we obviously Snake is absolutely amazing. Solid Snake specifically. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Very solid choice.
Yes, he's an absolute amazing person in terms of skill, but the argument can be made that he's genetically modified to be such. So we went with his genetic father, the original, the Big Boss.
So they throw in some science, but not a lot or enough, but maybe just enough. That's why we that way.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people may not be as familiar with Metal Gear because it is a super convoluted series.
I feel asleep.
Convoluted.
The truck have started to move.
What are you talking about?
No. So, for anyone that doesn't know, Big Boss was basically the perfect soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Metal Gear, all of the snakes that happen in that series, for the most part, are clones, basically, of the Big Boss. Big Boss's DNA was used to create an army, basically, of genome soldiers. So that's why Big Boss is here and Solid Snake isn't. Let's see. That one is hard to top. Yeah, one of the characters that does stick out to me is the Doom guy. And Doom honestly is fresh on my mind because I just finished the Doom Eternal DLC very recently, a couple weeks ago. And although, Doomslayer, he's got some, abilities and improvements in that.
He's literally a god, man.
That's true. Wait, we're saying like original Doom. This guy is just a soldier, right? He literally like went to hell and slayed a bunch of demons
for his rabbit.
His pet rabbit Daisy was murdered. So he went on a hate-fueled rampage. And like you cannot. What are you gonna do? He'll punch you to death. You punch a 12-foot tall demon to death. Like, what is this man? And just his arsenal of weapons is ridiculous. Like I said, he's fueled by hate. What do you do? What do you do against the Doom guy?
Yeah, brings Doom.
He does. He literally brings Doom.
Oh, Doom guy.
Well, I mean, bringing up all these, we've really gotten into a lot of these, I guess, ranged people. All these people with all these guns and stuff of that nature, and we're just really seeing a lot of. There's some heavy weight towards them. A lot of these, Guts.
Yeah, and I know I brought up the guns and reaching people out with the guns and stuff. So I'll backtrack a little bit because yes, if you want to go into the melee side of things, like we have a lot of just hand-to-hand fighters and some sword people that we're about to get to. But maybe to bring in some other ridiculousness outside of what we're doing, bring in another character of strong lore and presence and power and all this stuff. Well, another one of the famous characters who I believe he's depicted as living. He lives in a floating volcano or something like that. Chuck Norris himself has been, and other, not just Chuck Norris, but other high-end martial artists have been brought in, even into court cases and stuff, to show the amazing ability of humans to be able to disarm people with firearms from, I think, 10 feet, and closer or whatnot, that sort of ability. So, again, kind of showing what normal people can do through training and all that stuff. So again, as much as we have some of these guys, if we can get some of our melee dudes a little bit closer and stuff, maybe they can, even the field by getting those guns away. Unless you hit R2 or something like that, or R1, and you put your gun away as quick as you can.
Wow. So this is an interesting take, and I just thought of it too. Mm-hmm. And I actually have 2 points with this. So disarming people with guns, especially if they have like a handgun or something.
Yeah.
My thought immediately went to Indiana Jones,
Oh yes.
which we did omit because Nathan Drake is pretty much Indiana Jones.
Same guy.
They're the same, but I feel that Nathan has had more experience with that. But similarly, my mind went to Trevor Belmont. This man's main weapon is a whip.
Mm-hmm.
He could probably snatch a gun out of anyone's hand with that whip. It doesn't even matter.
Well, I mean, if we're going to bring up specifics, he quite literally snatched a short sword out of the air with one and then flung it into a giant's eye. So if we're talking pure skill, I'm thinking a gun is relatively easy.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we could have chosen any Castlevania protagonist, any of the Belmonts, any of the non-Belmont protagonists, but with the Castlevania show being relatively new on Netflix, it's a little bit more fresh, I guess, in everyone's mind, and Trevor is ridiculous.
All right, well, let's begin the talk of the particular character that obviously is going to get a lot of favoritism here in terms of strength, skill, speed. Let's just bring him up. Batman.
That's Batman.
Yep. As the only human that scares Superman.
Yeah.
This guy has a lot of respect.
Yeah.
He really does.
I mean, we're trying not to be as biased as possible here. So I'll fully admit, part of me doesn't want him to win because I'm Batman is not a good enough excuse for me. But if Batman. Yeah, he did it better. But if we're gonna talk pure, unbiased decisions here, I'm having a hard time seeing anybody outright beat Batman in, let's say, a 20 by 20 foot room. Stick him in with pretty much anybody we got here. You're going to have to come up with a real good counterpoint to beat Batman.
So you two are a little bit more versed in Batman than I am, I believe. Most of my knowledge comes from like the 90s animated show and the Arkham Asylum games, which I love. They're great. And Batman is ridiculous. I can fully admit it. But so when you say you put him in a room with somebody, and this is up for everyone on this list, what equipment does he have? So is it just, okay, you think Batman, you think Batarang. Is that what he has? Does he have other things?
He's got a shark repellent, for one.
Okay, shark repellent. All right.
All right, listen here. No, I think to be absolutely fair, when it comes, and I think this applies to everybody on this list, we're talking as basic as we can possibly get, their most generic setup. Batman has not had the time, or anybody on this list has not had the time to plan this out.
Right.
Because if we start getting into that, Batman wins. We all know this.
Yeah. Hands down. I don't know, man. Mr. Satan, he's pretty strong there. But anyway, sorry.
I mean, you're not wrong. Mr. Satan hand to hand is gonna be a problem. But Batarangs. So
he did beat up Goku and have him fly away with his tractor.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm thinking the most generic things. I mean, Batman specifically, Batarangs.
Well, just in terms of like we're talking about, not to get too scientific with Batman and his abilities, but this character has been said to, without help, move and lift and whatever 800 to 1,000 pounds. Where I guess just recently, as humans, on Earth and the normal reality, we're just getting to the 1,000-pound mark. I think it was set as the world record recently.
It was not very long ago. Yeah. I watched it live on Twitch, actually. And this character we left out as well, the Mountain.
Yep.
The actor that plays the Mountain, Half-Thor Julius, I believe is his name. Sorry, Half-Thor. If that's not...
you better apologize.
I will. I do not want
to make up for it later.
That man is huge. If you don't know what he looks like, go look at a picture of him. But
have you seen a mountain? There you go.
Yeah. So if Batman is similarly as strong as him, it's a problem.
Okay, all right. Well, then let's maybe Batman might actually be taken out on a technicality because we had
Batman is specifically the ultimate human.
We had discussed earlier that whether you're full human or not, no superhuman abilities.
Sure.
Is 1,000-pound bench press considered superhuman? Because if we're only just now reaching 1,000-pound deadlifts, by these supposed humans that tower over all of us and spend nothing but every single day, all day, training to do this. Does Batman get taken out on a technicality of him being able to do borderline superhuman things?
Well, here, and to illustrate how we normally do things in our conversations, around the dinner table or lunch table, this is where we're going with this. So, Melvin, like we were talking a little bit earlier, consider, how our characters have developed through the years, and even going to athletics in the picture of, what we have going to football. We see these guys now who run faster, they lift more, they do all this stuff more, but it's because of training and, just... we'll even say genetics and stuff like that, making these freaks of nature, and if you want to tie it in there, maybe some juice in here and there. But the game has changed, and for a lot of these characters, the game changes too. So they adapt, and they're getting stronger, they're training harder, and the bad guys, your opponents, get bigger and badder. So maybe that's why we have, that ability to what we see with Batman.
I mean, I don't think it's
a fair argument.
I don't think it's entirely unfair for Batman to be able to lift 1,000 pounds. Yeah, that's a lot. And to me, that's superhuman.
Yeah.
That is impossible for me to even dream of. But if we now, as the human race or whatever, can get to that, it's at least pretty close. I don't really see there being a huge issue. But yeah, it's just something that we talk about for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know. But that's why we're here.
Yep.
All right. I'd gotta say, if anybody on this list that I can think of that would actually give Batman specifically a run for his money, because not a lot on here that could beat Batman or at least stand toe to toe that I can personally think of. But one of them might just be Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
I mean, the strength, speed, skill of this man. He
can jump good.
I mean, jump good, of course. We all know the jump good for Samurai Jack. But I mean,
God.
Batman specifically, he is a master of all martial arts
that we know of. Yeah,
that we know of. As so is Samurai Jack, as far as we know. I mean, you give any weapon onto him, he's got it.
Yeah,
he's got it. I mean, if we're talking hand to hand, weapon to weapon, up against Batman and Samurai Jack, that might be a stalemate.
It would be tough, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is definitely a tough one, man.
It's just so hard with the presence of Batman.
Maybe we do have to just put him down.
I don't know, man. That is a tough one. I don't even have like a good argument one way or the other for or against him, honestly.
Because my thing would be jumping down to Mr. Satan, yeah! As much as he's like, that comical character, he's won multiple martial arts tournaments in the DBZ realm.
Yes.
Yep.
And, he's not going up against Goku and Vegeta and Frieza and all those guys. But in terms of the humans, he's doing something right to kick their butts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if we're bringing that level playing field, I mean, dude is...
And he's huge. Look at him.
He's
massive.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
He's a big
I
dude.
mean, can you pull a boulder out of the ground? I can't pull a boulder out of the ground.
No.
He did so.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so the man, as much as, he gets, made fun of and stuff like that, Mr. Satan or Hercule is definitely, maybe, I don't know if he's going to punch you as hard as Batman, but he's proven to be a fighter in that regard. So that would be my argument.
If so other people that could go hand to hand with Batman, we do have a female representative on here that I think would, and is very capable of doing so, and it would be Black Widow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, also an assassin, so she definitely has some advantages here and there. I don't know, if she's a master of this or that martial art or whatever, but she is pretty insane.
She is a well-tuned killing machine.
Yes, absolutely. So I think out of a lot of these characters, I do think that Black Widow would have a very decent chance. Of course, Batman is ridiculous. He's going to be, the opponent to beat here. There are a lot of other people on this list, though.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to just yet.
Yep. Sure. We've nailed probably 8 or 9 of them, I think. But here's a popular one. And it was one of the originals, and it's Spike Spiegel.
Yeah.
Now, Cowboy Bebop is a huge favorite of ours, and a lot of people that love anime, maybe the greatest of all time, who knows, But
Yep.
just saying, I don't know. But Spike is ridiculous. We do have a huge Spike fan here, and I just want Eric to kind of tell us why
Oh, yes.
Spike would be insane here.
I get to. Spike Spiegel, dude. The man who moves like water. Like he points out. A similar fighting style to that of Bruce Lee and everything. Part of that Red Dragon Syndicate, which this is just, I wish they did a little bit more of him and Vicious in that regard. But yeah, again, we have Spike. Again, hand-to-hand combat. There's almost nobody better. Again, when it comes into fighting him, he just has a reaction for everything. He's just quick wit. He's smart. He's got that sleight of hand and everything. He can fly the swordfish and all that. But I don't know. I'm sounding less and less like a Spike expert here, in my opinion. But the man is just highly talented. Again, when it comes to fighting, you're gonna have a hard time putting him down because you throw a punch at him and you find yourself flipping over in a different way. In terms of hand-to-hand combat, and again, like we've talked about in different skills and stuff like that, you see a guy shoot any sort of weapon, and he's putting the mark down. When we had our Batman kind of thing going on, we know, not trying to turn it into a Batman conversation, Spike was one of the guys that I was thinking that could give him a good run with the hand-to-hand. Every character has gone up against different obstacles. Again, Spike's just, he's the man. I'll fanboy a little bit.
That's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these characters we put up head-to-head kind of theoretically before we even decided what we were doing with this episode. And someone that's super similar is going to be John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
again, one of the original three on that picture.
Absolutely.
John Wick, Spike, and then Lupin the third, Lupin or whatnot, who we actually didn't put on the list. The master thief that he is and stuff. We just didn't know if he would really last that long against these high caliber individuals.
he's got the intelligence and quick action and everything like that, but I mean, how many headshots did John Wick have in the first movie?
All of them.
All of them.
It's real hard to bet against John Wick.
And then you got a guy like Spike who walks into a church and blows everybody up, and guys are coming from around the corner, similar to John Wick, and boom, 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 and yap, 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 and that whole, I think, was it, episode 5 or 6? Again, this is how big of the Ballad of the Fallen Angels, when he walks into the church and the guy's got Faye, or around the throat and the neck, and Spike doesn't even flinch, pulls the trigger, shoots the dude, right in the forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Again, precision.
Absolutely.
Right there, with both of those two.
We did talk about Trevor. Frank Castle, the Punisher. Another huge guy, massive, big boy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He is also fueled by rage.
Yeah.
So if you came home one day and your whole family was dead, I would probably be like Frank Castle.
Yeah, I think so too.
There would be no reason for me to not at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Just the amount of firepower and everything. And I don't know the most about him, but if you get put on the same comic book page as like Spider-Man, and you're living in the same neighborhood as a Spider-Man, you got to be pretty bad dude.
I would say he might be someone who we might see in that comic realm, looking at Batman.
Both
looking.
Both vigilantes, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're doing their own thing. Batman more for, protect the city, whatever. Frank Castle just wants to kill people.
Frank Castle's gonna kill.
Frank Castle has the Punisher has no problem, not even blinking at, just blowing your face off.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, the man, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the man went up against Wolverine and won.
He's beaten him several times with the help of a steamroller.
Oh, yes, yeah.
There was
not several, I said maybe 2 or 3, I forget. But yeah, the steamroller
I
was...
forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. No,
that's the only way to slow Wolverine down, is a steamroller.
I mean,
one of their ways.
You're a big boy when you can quite literally stop an unkillable mutant.
All right, so we did talk about Guts. We talked about Big Boss.
Ooh, here's a fun one.
Here's one.
Oh, absolutely. Love this guy.
Who wants to take this one?
Can I just say his name?
Take it.
Eragon. Eragon.
I mean, this guy, this ranger, this amazing guy, this king to be. How much better can you be being trained by the elves of Lord of the Rings? I mean, this guy has all the skill with a blade, with a bow and arrow, with leadership. I love this character. I love this character so much, and everything that is around him. I unfortunately am not convinced he's going to last as long as I want him to last. But pure skill wise, he is up in the upper echelon,
Agreed.
as in most of these people.
Sure. Yeah. We didn't put this list together just willy-nilly or anything. This was quite literally days of us planning and saying, okay, yeah, but this person can do this. This one's too similar to this person. But absolutely, Aragorn, one of the top people. And I mean, swordsmanship maybe almost unmatched. Any point of the time that we see him in any form, really. We did talk about the Doom guy.
Yep.
We kind of glossed over Boba Fett a little bit. This is a tough one because we don't have a lot of. We got like UC stuff on him and maybe some origin comics or something that I didn't read. But as a Mandalorian, we know what we have.
Yeah.
We know what Boba Fett is all about.
No. They're trained. They're skilled in everything that they've been brought up. That's their way. This is their thing. Boba Fett does sport that nifty rocket launcher.
He does have that.
That the original one of the original toys had that you could have choked and died on if you were lucky enough.
Well, here's the thing with Boba Fett's a fantastic character, and he's clearly very skilled. Just all Mandalorians are. But is this a negative or a positive that he fell into the Starlight Pit like an absolute chump twice? But at the same time, he was also able to escape, which, as far as I know, no one else has been able to do. So, is this a negative or a positive that he could do such a thing?
I don't even know.
Love the guy to death, but he really went into that pit the first time like an absolute chump. I don't know how you feel about that.
Maybe it's a positive because he's able to get out of such a creature that is said to slowly digest you for 1,000 years, and he made it out before the 1,000 years.
I mean, it speaks to his willpower and his endurance, not so much his skill.
Yeah.
He did have a jetpack.
Yeah, that's true. He's got a flamethrower in his.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff.
Moving on, Nathan Drake. We touched on him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the man's been through some stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys have played his games before. He quite literally takes on armies and comes out on top. I think he's been shot officially once versus actual military armies and has killed. I mean, he might be a mass murderer.
By the sounds of it,
His body count is impressive.
Huh.
He might be a mass murderer.
I mean, it was all in self-defense. He didn't want to.
It's true.
Right.
But
protecting his friends and
the only person I've seen climb something better than him is Spider-Man. His skills.
That's a fair point.
His skill with every firearm, apparently. I mean, there's an impressive amount of luck. If luck is a quantifiable trait, he has it in spades.
I'm thinking of the opening to Uncharted 3, where he's quite literally dangling off of a mountain out of a busted open train car.
Yup.
And he's got all the upper body strength in the world to just swing from freaking mangled piece of metal to mangled piece of metal and then fall through the train car.
Oh, and that's nothing, man. Later on in the series, he does the anime Looney Tunes trick of running on debris that's already falling and gets to solid ground.
I'm gonna have to play this game.
They're pretty intense, I have to say. Likewise with Nathan Drake, I'm gonna skip over a couple.
Okay, because I want this one.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
a funny thing for that.
Okay, so we also did talk about Lara Croft. Well, mentioned her, but they're sort of the same, right? Nathan and Laura.
There's some similarities for sure.
Yeah, they both do kind of similar things, but correct me if I'm wrong, most of the games that Laura's in, she's by herself. Nathan does have Sully and whoever for a decent amount of the time, but
yeah,
Laura entirely by herself, killing wolves and whatever else, tigers, just
people,
a bunch of people, insane amount of people. I don't know. It's hard to bet against her too, I think.
Yeah,
this is true. It's very similar. I will give Lara Croft. She has a much bigger and better arsenal.
Absolutely.
Okay, so going to our, one of our next, we all have mothers, right?
Of course.
Moms, very protective. Melvin, I know you have.
Oh, the old
Hispanic.
mama bear.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hispanic.
Yeah,
bring up the
there's a different
Hispanic
degree. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll murder you.
Okay. Yeah. So our next character, Mama Bear herself, Sarah Connor, having a mom like that, where God, you're little John and you're waking up. Okay, John, do 1,000 push-ups and then load all your guns. I don't know if that's how she is, but in terms of just the cold, I'm gonna protect my son, as we see through all these, whether you love them, you hate them, the Terminator movies.
Let's be honest, there's only 2 good ones.
Yeah. Arguably I'll go out and say it, the best action movie ever made, Terminator 2.
Terminator 2?
Judgment Day.
Terminator 2 that was ruined by its own trailer.
Oh, man.
But anyway, so getting to Sarah Connor and just, again, just that determination to protect her son and to keep things going, and all that stuff. Again, we see her skilled with all the different guns and all that stuff. She can swing a punch here and there and all that stuff too, but just her proficiency with weapons and understanding of how to take down machines and humans.
Well, not just machines, specific machines made to
kill humans. Yeah,
they are called Terminators.
Yeah.
Really?
Let's just say it.
Yeah,
they're called Terminators.
They're to terminate. But again, that's Mama Bear right there.
Mm-hmm.
Put her in a corner. We've seen what she's able to do against the giant Capri Sun commercial. That was the T-1000. Okay, so we're rounding the end of our list here. Just I'll go out and say another badass female with a sword. We got Michonne from The Walking Dead. Maybe another one of the younger characters that we can bring in here. To those who read the comics, and Denai Guerrera's interpretation of her on the show, which is a lot of fun. And just another quick side thing, we did take, again, Denai's other character from Black Panther, Okoye, into consideration in Wakanda, the general, and all that stuff. She was pretty awesome, and so Michonne, another cool character, wielding the sword.
Just her ability to survive as long as she did with 2 zombies
her
attached
pets,
to her is just
I mean,
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just the ingenuity of that alone. I wouldn't even think to purposefully drag these things that are constantly trying to kill me around. I mean,
Right.
That's cleverness incarnate.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is Mikasa from Attack on Titan. If we're talking about badass chicks with swords, even if they are weirdly segmented swords, have you seen the 6-pack on this chick? The speed on her, the skill with the sword. I mean, in one instance of the anime, 2 people who have just recently found out to have betrayed them, I mean, within seconds, just found it out. In a matter of seconds, she was able to rush up at least 10 plus feet and shove her blades into these people's neck and arms. And the only reason they lived is because they were not genetically enhanced, my apologies, Titans. They healed up. They cheated. It took her all of 2 seconds to kill 2 humans. If they were humans, they would have been dead.
Mm-hmm.
The speed on her and the skill with the blade is impressive.
This is where I fell off with Attack on Titan, because this is going to be crazy to some of you anime fans. I don't really like Attack on Titan. So the first season, I thought, okay, this is a really cool concept. I like this idea.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then there were 2 characters that just were Titans, and I'm like, okay, I'm out. This isn't cool anymore.
Oh, what? Do you not appreciate the Flesh Gundams?
I don't.
Flesh Gundams.
So if they were just a thing off in the distance that is just a constant threat, like it was in the first season, for the most part, it'd be cool. But what I do appreciate about Mikasa is that she is not a Titan.
No.
That the writers don't fall back on her having some insane ability, superhuman ability, being a Titan, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
She is just superbly trained and fast, and she can use those freaking grappling hooks that are on your sides.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure any standard human would be ripped apart if they use those just from the G-forces alone. I don't understand, but she is amazing. She's a really cool character.
I too am kind of like Ryan with this anime. I got into maybe 6 or 7 episodes and was like, dude, I love the concept of it. Where'd you get the key? I'm done. Anyway, again, her speed, her skill, and her weapons, or her utility belt. I think anime and comics, sometimes they have like that weird flow of what they're able to do as characters and stuff.
Yep.
But again, they're human. Like Ryan was just touching. She's not a Titan. She's not this. she's a human, like we're talking about, like all some of these other characters who are able to bring down armies, demons, and other stuff. You know, the bad guys, the enemy, if you will. There you have it. There's the list, people.
We have made it through our list. There were, how many? Did we say that was 18?
I believe it was 18.
18 total. A lot of omissions, a lot of honorary mentions, and some that we just had to keep out for time's sake and keeping this kind of more on the simple side. But we all kind of have our favorites. I think we've brought up good strengths and weaknesses for pretty much everybody. It's, I don't know. I think these are our strongest humans that are out there without any superpowers, without any extraneous appendages. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Again, if there are any that are obvious and that we missed, please let us know.
Please.
Yes.
Let us know. Please. Again, this list was something we compiled with just the three of our brains, which isn't a lot of computing power. But
especially mine, it is not a lot.
Yeah, we tried to keep this just conversational more than anything. Then we didn't want to deep dive into the internet and every little possible thing that every single one of these characters have done. We would have been here till next week.
Oh yeah.
Yep. This episode would have been easily 4 hours long.
I mean, it was mostly Batman anyway, but. All right, again, so that's the list, everybody. Let's just go around and see, who we think from our personal choice, I guess. And again, you guys let us know what you think or who you think later on and all that. And I guess I'll start. This is tough. This is really tough. I'm going to put him in second place, my boy Spike Spiegel. I got to give it the Big Boss. Just being the ultimate soldier, just in terms of what he's seen, who he's beaten in combat, from the crazy villains to giant robots and all this stuff. I think we said Nathan Drake got shot maybe one time. Snake's been pressed the circle button repeatedly to he's taking some damage. Oh, sorry, different Snake. But anyway, so Big Boss. I'm going to throw him
button repeatedly.
Thank you, Ocelot. Big Boss is going to be probably my go-to character in this.
I mean, that's a good choice. I'm going to have a hard time disagreeing with you. However, on the same kind of vein, I mean, overall, the vastness of the skills and plenty of experience, I think I have to give my first place to John Wick. Just the hand-to-hand mixed in with the range combat, with the firearms, and just the grandiose of his personality and who he is, and just the respect that he has from his world. He's very impressive in all the things he does. My second place, if I'm gonna name a second place, I think I might actually throw Nathan Drake in there. I mean, I can't kill armies.
Yeah.
But yeah, top dog for me, I think is gonna be John Wick. Most times, I think he's gonna come out on top.
All right, and for me, of course, again, really, really tough.
Yeah.
But two that I'm gonna go out and just kind of say, and I don't know about first and second and all that, but real hard for me to go against Doom Guy.
There's Doom Guy.
Oh yeah.
Freaking Doom Guy. He doesn't say a single word, but
says enough.
He says enough with his little face in the corner based on how much health you've lost,
yeah,
and how angry he is, and just how many things he has killed, all for what? Daisy, like a rabbit. And then I'm also gonna go out and say it. Hard to go against Batman, but
yeah.
Guts just sticks out to me so much as a character and the whole anime and his skill. If you haven't seen it, please watch Berserk. Don't watch the newer one because the animation is terrible. But the original Berserk, there's a scene where he quite literally kills 100 people, all armed. Some are archers, some are swordsmen, whatever. There's even a massive dude, like 3 times the size of him. This guy is insane. He killed 100 dudes, half of which he did with a crossbow bolt through his hand, and he still lugged that giant sword around and murdered everybody in one night.
Now Ryan, if you're gonna tell people to watch this, please warn them about the amount of depression that they will feel.
Yeah, it is very sad. You will catch the feels for sure.
Yeah.
But the amount of really cool rage moments, I guess, is also top notch. High ranked anime from me. All right, so I guess we'll kind of end it there. Don't want this to go on too terribly long. This this was really fun, guys.
Yeah. We've always threatened to do something like this, and now we finally pinned Ryan down and used his resources to do this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if this is where we're starting, we're in for a tough subject matters ahead of time. Because, I mean, we really dove into some craziness already.
Yeah, we started off pretty obscure. But you never know what might come out of our brains and out of our mouths.
That's true.
So we'll just we'll brainstorm some more ideas for next time. And I hope everyone enjoyed what all we had to say. This was supremely difficult.
Yes.
Oh, very.
But also insanely fun. But until next time, everyone, we'll be seeing you. Again, this is Ryan.
Eric.
Melvin.
That's it. See ya.
Later.
Later.